Welcome back, my friends. If you're listening to this while walking the dog, commuting, or, let's be honest, scrolling with one eye on the screen, I have some bad news and some liberating news. The bad news? Seneca, the Roman Stoic who advised emperors and wrote some of the sharpest lines in Western philosophy, would take one look at your calendar, your phone notifications, and your proud declaration of being crazy busy, and he would laugh. Not a polite chuckle, a full, hearty, ancient Roman belly laugh. The liberating news? He wouldn't be laughing at you. He'd be laughing at the absurd trap we've all fallen into, and he'd hand you the key out of it. Today we're talking about busyness versus real productivity. We're talking about why the modern obsession with hustle is actually a sophisticated form of idleness. And we're rediscovering something the Stoics understood deeply and that thinkers like Mortimer Adler later echoed: leisure is not the opposite of work. It is the foundation of everything worth doing. Let's start with the satire, because the truth hurts less when it's funny. Picture the average busy professional in 2026. Alarm at 5:30 a.m. because some podcast bro said successful people wake up before the sun. 47 browser tabs open before breakfast. Back-to-back Zoom calls where nobody makes a decision, but everyone feels important. Lunch eaten while answering Slack messages. Evening wind down that consists of doom scrolling LinkedIn to see how many other people are also grinding. Then bed, where the brain replays tomorrow's to-do list instead of resting. You tell your friends, "I'm swamped." You wear it like a badge of honor. Your out-of-office reply says you're in meetings all day. And yet, when someone asks what you actually accomplished this month that moved the needle on your life, your health, your relationships, or your character, you pause. Seneca saw this exact species of person 2,000 years ago. In his essay on the shortness of life, he writes, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested." He continues, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." And the killer line, "There is nothing the busy man is less busied with than living." Let that land. The man who is always busy is the one least engaged in actually living. He's managing appearances, chasing status, reacting to other people's priorities, and calling it productivity. Seneca would look at our modern version, addicted to the little dopamine hits of notifications, the performative busyness of public calendars, the fear of being seen as someone with nothing to do, and he would recognize it instantly. You're not busy. You're just addicted to distraction. The addiction is clever because it wears the costume of virtue. In hustle culture, saying "I'm busy" signals importance. It protects you from real questions. What are you actually building? Are you becoming wiser? Are your relationships deepening? Is your soul growing? Busyness is the perfect shield against those questions because the shield itself looks noble. The Stoics had a word for the alternative: otium. It doesn't mean laziness or Netflix binges. It means honorable leisure, time deliberately set aside for philosophy, reflection, friendship, study, and the cultivation of virtue. Seneca himself wrote an entire dialogue called De Otio, defending the value of stepping back from public busyness to tend to one's inner life. For the Stoics, otium wasn't the reward after work. It was the condition that made meaningful work possible. Mortimer Adler, the great 20th century philosopher and champion of liberal education, made a similar distinction. He argued that true leisure is not play or mere relaxation. It is serious activity undertaken for its own sake, reading great books, contemplating ideas, engaging in conversation that seeks truth rather than victory. Adler called this leisure work. It is the activity of free people. Everything else, vocational training, subsistence labor, endless task management, is necessary but secondary. When a culture loses its capacity for genuine leisure, Adler warned, it loses the very soil in which culture grows. Joseph Pieper made the point even more forcefully in his classic, Leisure, the Basis of Culture. Leisure, he said, is not the leftover scraps of time after work is done. It is the precondition for culture itself. Without spaces for contemplation, worship, art, and deep thought, a society becomes nothing but a machine producing and consuming. The Stoics would have nodded in agreement. A life without otium is not a full human life. It is a life of perpetual negotium, business, where the soul never gets to breathe. So why do we resist real leisure so violently? Because leisure requires something modern busyness protects us from, confrontation with ourselves. When you stop filling every minute, silence appears. Boredom appears. The uncomfortable realization that many of your urgent tasks are actually optional appears. The question, what do I actually want my life to stand for, appears. Distraction is the anesthetic we use to avoid that question. The attention economy has industrialized this avoidance. Every app, every notification, every infinite scroll is engineered to keep you in a state of low-grade preoccupation. You feel busy because your nervous system is constantly stimulated, but you are not productive in any Stoic sense. You are not moving toward wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance. You are moving from one micro-distraction to the next. Real productivity looks different. It looks like deep, focused work on things that matter, followed by deliberate recovery and reflection. It looks like protecting large blocks of unscheduled time the way you protect important meetings. It looks like reading philosophy not as another item on the to-do list, but as the soil in which better decisions grow. It looks like long walks without podcasts, because the Stoics knew that movement plus silence is one of the best ways to let the mind do its real work. Seneca didn't just theorize about this. He practiced a version of it. Even while serving as Nero's advisor, he carved out time for writing, for walking while dictating letters, for correspondence that was genuinely philosophical rather than administrative. He understood that the quality of your inner life determines the quality of everything else. Let's make this practical. How do you begin reclaiming leisure in a world that rewards the appearance of busyness? First, conduct a brutal time audit. For 1 week, track where your attention actually goes, not where you think it goes. You will probably discover that a shocking percentage of your busy hours is spent reacting rather than creating. That discovery is painful but necessary. Second, schedule otium the same way you schedule everything else. Block 2 or 3 hours this week for nothing but reading, walking, or sitting quietly with a notebook. Defend that block like your life depends on it, because in a Stoic sense, it does. Your real life is happening in those hours. Third, practice strategic boredom. Turn off notifications for set periods. Let your mind wander. The creative and philosophical breakthroughs that shaped civilization did not happen in back-to-back meetings. They happened in the margins, in gardens, on walks, in moments of deliberate idleness. Fourth, redefine success. Stop measuring your day by tasks completed, and start measuring it by whether you protected time for the highest human activities. Thinking clearly, loving well, acting virtuously. The Stoic who ends the day having done less but having lived more is the one who wins. Fifth, remember that leisure is not an escape from responsibility. It is the thing that makes responsibility meaningful. A person who never stops to reflect will eventually become a very efficient servant of someone else's priorities, often without realizing it. Here's the satirical sting at the heart of it all. The person who is truly too busy to read, to think, to sit in silence, or to have an unhurried conversation with someone they love is not a high performer. They are a prisoner who has mistaken the prison walls for a promotion. Seneca would look at that person and say, with characteristic directness, "You are living as if you were going to live forever." You are not. Life is long enough. If you stop wasting it on the performance of busyness and start investing it in the reality of a well-lived existence. That investment requires leisure. Not more time, but better use of the time you already have. Not more stimulation, but more space for the mind and soul to do what they were made to do. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I'm so busy," pause. Ask the Stoic question. Am I busy with living, or am I busy avoiding it? Seneca is still laughing, but now he's laughing with you because you finally heard the joke. If this episode hit you where you live, do me a favor. Like it, subscribe for more, and share it with that friend who's always too busy to slow down. They might need the laugh and the liberation more than they know. Until next time, keep choosing the long game.